Here we go! I can finally reveal things people haven't seen yet from the new book. For those that don't know, Wizards of the Coast gave me an early copy of the Player's Handbook. The bad news is I still can't show direct screenshots, and that's what I usually do. But that should be fine, I can still tell you things, and today we're gonna make an optimal wizard build, only using the new Player's Handbook. Welcome to Pack Tactics, where we theorize hard and cast harder. I think for a wizard, your best bet is dipping a level into fighter or cleric to obtain armor proficiency, and you get some additional goodies. For this build, we're going fighter, as cleric has become less appealing, due to its lack of useful subclass features at level 1. Fighter also gets constitution proficiency, which is really useful for our concentration later on. Anyways, we need at least 13 dexterity or strength, and 13 intelligence to multiclass. That's no problem. For our background, we're gonna choose criminal. Its ability scores, feats, and skill proficiencies line up best with what we need. Alert is one of the best origin feat options, and will be especially strong once we get a familiar with whom we can swap our initiative with. This basically gives us advantage on initiative for 10 gold pieces. For skills, we get sleight of hand and stealth. For tools, we get thieves' tools. For equipment, we're choosing the 50 gold pieces. We're gonna talk about that later. Now for our stat array, I'll be using point buy. Let's go for 8 strength, 14 dexterity, 16 constitution, 17 intelligence, 10 wisdom, and 8 charisma. We want 14 dexterity to get the most out of our training and medium armor that fighter will provide. And of course, we need at least 13 to multiclass. 10 wisdom for a slightly higher passive perception and wisdom saving throw. As for species, we're going human. Human is still the best. That gives us an extra origin feat, which will help us quite a lot. We also pick small size. We can literally be the same size as a kobold. Look, 2 feet. The reason why this is optimal is because we get more mount options. And they're cheaper. Like, the mule is dirt cheap. It also affects some spells, like Minor Illusion can cover your entire body. We get 1 heroic inspiration per long rest, which means we get to re-roll any one roll we don't like a botched initiative roll or saving throw. This is kind of like Fortune's Favor or a 2014 Lucky Point. Speaking of, we're picking Lucky. While its number of usage are a lot less at this level and its effect is worse, it's still a very strong origin feat. Finally, we pick up Arcana proficiency through our Skillful feature. This allows us to scribe scrolls. Well, we first need wizard levels to do that. We'll get there eventually. For now, we're just a fighter at level 1. We have proficiency in constitution and strength saving throws. Constitution saving throws has always been important for concentration, but with the changes to counterspell, it's even more important than ever. Okay, we have medium armor and shield proficiencies. This is a lot better than mage armor. We also pick defense as our fighting style, so that's an extra +1. For skills, we choose acrobatics and perception. Now we're going back to the starting equipment. We'll be going with the money option, so we have 155 gold pieces. And from our background, we have an additional 50 gold pieces. Altogether, we have 205 gold. We're gonna buy scale mail for 50 gold, 2 hand crossbows for 75 gold pieces a pop, some traveler's clothes for 2 gold, and a crossbow case for 1 gold. You could go for even more bolts, like 60. That's probably smart. Basically, we used all our money. We are missing some essentials still, like food and things, but I imagine you can probably get your allies to help you out. Or you can loot things on your first quest. I don't think you're gonna die on the first quest. Just watch out for enemies with pack tactics. They're very dangerous at this level. With the new rules for the light weapon property, you don't need crossbow expert feat anymore. If you use your action and bonus action, you can shoot twice. Though do take into account that means you cannot use a shield. Anyways, that's level 1. Hopefully you survive. At level 2, we'll be picking Wizard. That means we're Fighter 1/Wizard 1. As part of our spellcasting feature, we get a spell book. We get cantrips and spells, finally. The cantrips will pick up our Firebolt, Minor Illusion, and Ray of Frost. First level spells: Detect Magic, Find Familiar. We prepare Shield, Sleep, Thunderwave, and Unseen Servant. Here we go, now the video starts. Sleep has been nerfed to the ground. Its effect is about as good as Hideous Laughter, but it can target multiple creatures. It's not much of an encounter ender as it was before, but it's worth picking up in my opinion. We're preparing Unseen Servant for now because we have a lot of ritual spells. We won't be casting Unseen Servant with our spell slots, by the way. Just to be 100% clear. And by the way, when I pick up a spell that's very different, like this new Sleep, I will talk about it, okay? If it's something like Thunderwave, which is not changed at all, then I won't talk about it because you guys are familiar with it. At level 3, we pick up Wizard again. We get the Scholar feature. We're gonna pick up Arcana. It is literally our only option as we don't have proficiency in any other ones. We are picking up Identify and Fog Cloud. Fog Cloud still works against pack tactics and the like. So it's pretty good. Heavily Obscured still works the same way, by the way. I really should update that video. It was like one of my first videos ever. I assume you have your essentials like a shield, bullseye lantern, maybe a mount like a mule, stuff like that. If you do, then I recommend saving gold for half plates. You need 650 for that. If you find it, that's a lucky find. Level 4, Wizard. We get our subclass. We have 4 interesting options. We're gonna go Diviner for this one. Many of my choices can be used on another subclass, by the way. Portent is a really nice feature that allows us to change D20 results by ourselves or others. If you're feeling really spicy, this works on Heroic Inspiration too. We also get Divination Savant. We're gonna get a lot of divination spells. We're picking up Augury and Locate Objects through this feature. As for our normal progression, we can get Levitate and Web. Levitate is not an amazing spell compared to some of the power creep we've gotten, but in the context of the player's handbook only, it's still really good. As for Web, it got nerfed slightly. The Restrain part is now a strength athletics check instead of just a strength check. But it's still super duper strong. Yeah, we're picking Web. Here's an overview of all our spells so far. The spells that are underlined are the ones we prepare. Level 5, we get an ASI. We're gonna pick Warcaster, which allows us to cast any spell while holding a shield, and bumps our intelligence from 17 to 18. Crazy how this feat is even better than before. As for spells, we're gonna pick up Rope Trick, Shatter, and Mind Sliver. Rope Trick is a fantastic defense spell that stayed untouched. That really surprised me. I thought it would get nerfed or changed dramatically. That means my video's still relevant. Yay! Whereas Shatter is still useful for some damage when needed. It's simple. Level 6, we're finally Wizard 5. We get the big boy spells. Through Divination Savant, we now pick up Sending. For our normal progression, we get Phantom Steed and Fireball. That's right, we're memeing. We're moving 200 feet while throwing fireballs. These have not changed. I thought Phantom Steed and riding in general would be nerfed, but it didn't. So that means we're going to continue to ride really hard. By the way, you probably have your half plate and shield now. From now on, you should spend your money making scrolls. This makes it so you have more resources. That's super duper important. Don't forget about it. You gotta optimize every single aspect of your character. We also get Memorize Spell now. This lets us have more versatility. We can swap one spell we have prepared during the day. Suddenly need Sending? Well, go ahead and prepare it. Level 7, Wizard. We gain a new subclass feature. Expert Divination allows us to gain more spell slots for the cost of spell slots. It's a nice feature that gives us more output during the day. We can cast Locate Object and get a shield slot out of it. For spells, we pick up Hypnotic Pattern and Sleet Storm. Sleet Storm got nerfed, but not by very much. Both remain incredibly strong. Level 8, we pick up Divination through Divination Savant. Additionally, we pick up Animate Dead and Polymorph. Animate Dead is a spell that turns yesterday's spell slots into power today, which is a very good use of your resources that doesn't matter anymore. Polymorph is different now, using temporary HP. It serves a similar purpose, so it's, you know, it's whatever. We can still emergency turn somebody into a giant ape. Here's our preparations. Bup-a-da-bup. Level 9, we're now Wizard 8. That means another ASI. In the 2014 edition, we would normally pick something like Resilient Wisdom. But we're gonna go for something different. Our Criminal Wizard is becoming a Mage Slayer. This ups our dexterity from 14 to 15, not a big deal. Now here's the good part. You can succeed on any mental saving throw you fail once per rest. But you have to scream Slayer on top of your lungs in order to activate this.
Kobold, stop joking!
Yeah, I'm joking about the last part. Anyways, Resilient Wisdom adds a +4 bonus to one saving throw, and that's Wisdom. Mage Slayer works on any mental saving throw. So yeah, this is a lot better. We also pick up Tiny Hut and Dimension Door. Two generally useful spells. Tiny Hut got nerfed, but it's really not that big of a deal. As for Dimension Door, it got boosted. It doesn't care about sizes anymore. Before that was a problem for small races, but not anymore. Here are the preparations. Alright, level 10, we become Wizard 9. Divination Savant gives us Contact Other Plane. For our normal picks, we get Hypnotic Static and, of course, Wall of Force. Wall of Force was actually not nerfed.
What the heck?
Yeah, that probably surprises a lot of you. That was the first spell I looked up as soon as I got this book. I thought for sure this spell would get nerfed to the ground. But the king still lives on. Wizard wins again. Now at level 11, we become Wizard 10. We get a new subclass feature, the Third Eye. That means we're no longer a noob without dark vision. You can of course pick something else here too if you want. As for our normal picks, we pick Planar Binding, Telepathic Bond, and Prestidigitation, or whatever it's called. You know, the cantrip. Planar Binding did not get nerfed. It's still insanely busted. I thought for sure this spell would go. But, well, it remains, so we're gonna use it. Anyways, at level 12, we become Wizard 11. Through Divination Savant, we pick up Scrying. Through our normal progression, we pick up Contingency and Mass Suggestion. Level 13, Wizard 12, which means another ASI. We're going for 20 intelligence by bumping it by 2. The spells we pick are Counterspell and Magic Jar. Both of them are nerfed. Counterspell can still be used to remove a scary spell from play using a reaction, but it's a Constitution saving throw, and the enemy gets their spell back if counterspelled. It's very weird, but we're grabbing it anyways. As for Magic Jar, it can still buff our bodies a lot, but its general power is weaker. Very important. For now, just prepare Planar Binding when you're actually in need of it. Maybe you can do that through Memorize Spell. Keep that in mind. Also, I hope you didn't forget about the scrolls. Make scrolls. Really important. At level 14, we become Wizard 13. Through Divination Savant, we pick up True Seeing. For our normal spells, we pick up Force Cage and Simulacrum. Both of these spells are nerfed. Force Cage is now Concentration, but, you know, it's still insanely good, so we're gonna grab it. As for Simulacrum, chaining it doesn't work anymore. Nobody allowed for chaining, really, but, you know, thank God it's fixed now. Here are our spells and preparations. At level 15, we get Wizard 14. We get a new subclass feature. Greater Portent gives us another Portent. That's pretty important. For spells, we're picking up Mirage Arcane and Plane Shift. Neither of them have changed, and they're still solid picks. At level 16, we're Wizard 15. Through Divination Savant, we get Telepathy, whereas our normal picks, we get Antipathy Sympathy and Maze. Antipathy Sympathy is a ridiculously overpowered spell, and they actually made it even stronger now. As for Maze, no changes. Incredible option. Level 17, Wizard 16, we're at endgame now. This means another ASI. If nobody has Musician, then I'll pick Musician. Short Rest gives my friends Heroic Inspiration, which is insanely strong. I just discovered this yesterday. I probably should have picked this up earlier, but whatever. I'll pick it up here. Another option we have is Medium Armor Master. That brings our dexterity to 16. And it increases our AC and initiative, which is pretty good. For spells, we're picking up Anti-Magic Field and Mind Blank. In my opinion, these are great defensive spells, and they will likely come up at some point. Who knows? Here's our preparations and spells. Now we're going to level 18. We have Wizard 17. We have God spells. Through Divination Savant, we pick up Foresight. One of the best spells in the entire game. Through our normal picks, we pick True Polymorph and Wish, which are literally the best spells in the game. At level 19, we get Wizard 18, which means we get Spell Mastery. Sadly enough, we cannot get Shield through this anymore. But there are other good level 1 spells we'd love to cast for free. One of them is Unseen Servant. Our second level option will be Locate Objects. Both of these are very underrated spells in my opinion. As for our new spells, we're picking Meteor Swarm and Demiplane. Meteor Swarm is the best blast spell in the entire game. Yeah, we're picking a massive AoE spell. As for Demiplane, it's just convenience. Here's our preparations and spells. And by the way, take note that we have 2 free preps, so if you count 25 are prepped instead of 23, that is correct. Now for level 20! We become the ultimate wizard, and we kind of become like a Gloomstalker. We get Epic Boon, and we're gonna pick Boon of the Night Spirits. It gives us resistance to almost everything if you can find some darkness, and that's pretty easy. And it can make you immune to effects that require sight, so it's insanely powerful. We get Gloomstalker gameplay with our Phantom Steed that can dash in and out of the darkness. Heck yeah, very powerful. For our last spells, we pick up Shape Change and Glyph of Warding. And that's it! That's our wizard. So now the question is this wizard better than the old version? Yes, absolutely. This is a boost. This new wizard wins. It's now the new king. There are some exceptions though with Simulacrum Chains and Magic Jar abuse, but other than that, this wizard is way better. Wizard is still the king of the game. Best class in the entire game. End of video. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. I hope I earned your subscription. Stay tuned for next episode. Anyways, bye-bye!